The U.S. just poked the Arctic bear, and Denmark is not backing down. In a bold statement, Vice President J.D. Vance threw shade at Denmark, claiming the U.S. could protect Greenland better. That comment didn't land quietly. Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen fired back, praising Greenland's leadership and calling Vance's remarks unfair. The timing couldn't be more provocative. Greenland just formed a new government, and suddenly Washington is flexing its Arctic muscles. So why is America escalating tensions over Greenland again? What's really at stake? And could this spark a full-blown diplomatic rupture between the U.S. and Denmark? Let's dig in. Vice President Vance's comment wasn't subtle. The U.S. could protect Greenland better than Denmark can. That one sentence questioned Denmark's sovereignty, challenged Greenland's autonomy, and reignited the long-simmering U.S. interest in the Arctic island. It's a line that plays well with U.S. hawks and security strategists. But in Copenhagen, it landed like a diplomatic grenade. PM Mette Frederiksen didn't let the moment slide. She quickly released a statement defending Greenland's new government, Denmark's Arctic stewardship, and the idea that Greenland's future is not America's decision. She called Vance's comments unfair and unhelpful during a time of regional coordination and self-governance. Her message was crystal clear. Greenland's future is not up for grabs. This isn't just ego. This is strategy. Greenland matters because of military geography. Greenland is home to Thule Air Base, a key U.S. radar and missile warning site. Natural resources. Greenland has rare earths, uranium, and untapped energy reserves. Melting Arctic routes. As the ice thaws, new shipping lanes and resource zones open up. Russian and Chinese interest. Both nations are quietly seeking influence over Greenland's ports and infrastructure. Vance is signaling that the U.S. isn't going to sit back while others carve up the Arctic. But Denmark sees this as territorial overreach. Timing is everything. Greenland's newly formed government is more autonomy-minded than ever before. Many political factions are pushing for full independence from Denmark, direct control over resources, closer economic ties with other powers, including the U.S., so when Vance made his remarks, they landed in the middle of an identity battle between Greenlandic independence, Danish sovereignty, and now American ambition. Vance may think he's offering protection, but Frederiksen sees it as American interference. Let's not be naive. Washington has wanted a stronger hold on Greenland for decades. Trump famously floated the idea of buying it outright in 2019. The world laughed, but the Pentagon didn't. In fact, the U.S. has reopened its diplomatic mission in Nuuk, increased military cooperation and investments, and now, under Vance, is publicly questioning Denmark's ability to govern and defend it. It's not about buying Greenland. It's about influencing it until it aligns more with U.S. strategic goals. Here's Denmark's problem. They legally own Greenland, but Greenland governs itself. They rely on NATO and the U.S. for Arctic defense, but don't want to be bullied. They can't match American economic or military offers, but don't want to lose Greenland diplomatically. So when the U.S. steps in too aggressively, Denmark is forced into a corner. Push back too hard and risk losing Greenland. Stay silent and appear weak on sovereignty. Frederiksen chose to push back, publicly and fast. Yes, and it's already visible. This is bigger than a one-off comment. It's part of a pattern. Trump's earlier Greenland proposal, U.S. Arctic military buildup. Now Vance's blunt remarks. Denmark and the U.S. may be allies, but Greenland is creating a wedge. Behind the scenes, diplomats are scrambling to cool things off. But if Greenland continues moving toward full independence, with U.S. backing, it could shatter the Atlantic status quo. Greenland is the wild card here. Its leadership has long pushed for full control over natural resources, greater foreign investment, especially from the U.S., and eventually independence. Some in Nuuk see the U.S. as a partner, not a threat. Vance's remarks may be seen internally as validation that the world takes Greenland seriously. But Greenland also doesn't want to be used as a pawn. This isn't about siding with America or Denmark. It's about charting their own path. This diplomatic flare-up could escalate, or it could quietly reset. Scenarios to watch. Will Frederiksen demand a formal apology or clarification? Will the U.S. send a high-level envoy to smooth things over? Will Greenland's new government lean harder toward Washington or double down on independence? And most importantly, will this trigger new moves from China or Russia, who now see the U.S. and Denmark divided? The Arctic just got hotter. What looks like frozen tundra is actually one of the hottest strategic flashpoints on Earth. Vance's comments may have been casual, but their impact is seismic. Denmark sees it as disrespect. Greenland sees it as validation, and the U.S. sees opportunity. But history teaches us one thing. When great powers start eyeing territory, small nations must fight for identity, or risk being swallowed whole. Should the U.S. step back from Greenland, or is it time for Washington to take Arctic leadership seriously? Was Vance out of line or just brutally honest? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for deep dives on global sovereignty battles, Arctic tensions, and the geopolitics the mainstream media won't touch.